Thank you for tuning in and welcome back, team. In today's episode of Home Selling Tips, you'll learn about 8 realizations when selling your home. My name is Andrew Finney, your real estate geek. If you need help finding a top agent where you live, or if you simply want to drop me a line to say hello, my contact info is below. If you haven't already done so, please go ahead and subscribe to this channel now and like this video. Thank you. Okay, team, so let's talk about this. If you're thinking about selling your home right now, I mean, let's face it, if it's a seller's market, it's probably white hot, it's the time to sell and it's time to move and get the equity out of your home. You might be upsizing, downsizing, or simply moving across town or to another state for job opportunities. If it's a buyer's market, there's definitely some things that you want to consider going into a buyer's market, but I'll leave that for another video. In today's episode, let's talk about 8 realizations that you're going to have when you get ready to sell your home. The first realization is actually, wow, there's a lot of real estate agents to choose from. How do I find the right one? And that's a perfect question. I've actually made a video about picking a agent and how to discern if they're a top agent and how to rate and review them. So it's really important that anybody, whether it's a recommendation from a friend, whether it's a recommendation from a family member, or anyone else that recommends a listing agent to you, that you Google that agent, check their online presence, check their reviews, check their ratings, read their client testimonials, and see what their past sales performance is. Check out that video about picking a real estate agent and see if and use that to help you find an agent. Of course, if you need help finding a top agent, I'm happy to help. With so many agents to choose from, you don't want to get this wrong, because the right agent will help you sell for the highest price possible in the least amount of time possible in the current market. The second one is, excuse me, you want me to clean, paint, or remove what? Seriously, right? So you're going to get a top listing agent into your house and going to say, hey, Mr. and Mrs. Seller, I know that you love that color over there. It's that jewel tone purple or that ruby red. That needs to be toned down and repainted into an earth tone. It might not be exactly what you want to hear, but don't take it as negative criticism. Take it as constructive advice. As a trusted real estate advisor, that's what we're there for. The mindset has to start shifting from this is my home to this is a house I'm selling. So it's no longer important about what you think of the home. It's more important about what prospective buyers think of your home, because we're playing Match.com here. We're looking for a buyer to marry a 30-year mortgage on your home. So we need to put your home in the best light possible. So as a trusted real estate advisor that can be honest with you and upfront with you about things that need to be done to prepare your home for sale, you'll know you have the right agent whenever they're honest enough with you to share with you what needs to happen to put your home in the best light possible to help you sell at the best price and terms possible in the current marketplace. So the third realization is, do I really have to leave when the buyer gets here? I really don't want to leave, right? That comes up quite frequently. They're like, well, why do I gotta leave? It's my house. Why do I gotta leave? Well, consider this. If you're out there looking at homes, because when you get ready to sell your home, what's gonna happen? You're gonna turn into a home buyer more than likely, right? How comfortable are you whenever you go and view a home if the seller is present? Think about that for a moment. Really think about that for a moment. How comfortable are you when somebody else is in the house and you're trying to view the home and you want to talk freely or liberally and you're afraid of offending somebody else? There's a lot of anxiety whenever a home buyer goes into a home, and it's okay. I mean, it's only commonplace. Whenever a buyer goes into someone else's home that's looking to purchase it, they're walking into someone else's kingdom, and they don't know the rules. They don't want to upset anybody. They just want to check it out and see if it's going to be the right house to call home for them. So it's best as a seller if you actually leave the property, and if you have tenants in the property, if you're selling the property, to ask the tenants to leave during the showing if at all possible. But as a seller that owns a home in a traditional sale, please leave the home whenever you have your showings, and work with your listing agent to coordinate those showings times around times that would be convenient for you, but also be open as a seller to showing your house to as many people as rapidly as possible so that you can get the best offers on the table. So then the fourth realization, why didn't the buyer show up? Why didn't they show up? I mean, this is one that gets frustrated. So you're like, Andrew, you're saying that we got to leave the house and we got to get everything right, and then the buyer didn't even show up? What gives? Well, that's one really lousy part of the thing of a no-show. Unfortunately, we can't control everybody that's going to want to view your home, but we can control what we're doing to get your home sold together, right? So sometimes the no-shows may happen. Ideally, everybody that sets an appointment will attend the appointment, but sometimes things happen and they don't show up. It's one of those annoyances. Hopefully that doesn't happen to you. At the same time, just keep in the back of your mind that it might be, and go ahead and take a deep breath in, count to 10, and relax, and we'll move on to the next showing with a qualified buyer that's ready to buy your home. So then the fifth realization is, your home doesn't feel like home anymore. That might be one of the things. You're sitting there talking to your family member, your spouse, your significant other, friend, whatever, and you're just there, my home just doesn't feel like home anymore. I had to paint out my favorite ruby red wall. I had to paint out my jewel tone purple wall, and I really, it just doesn't feel like home to me because of that. It's okay. It's a normal feeling. It's a normal emotion to have whenever you sell your home, and then you see your home staged. You're going to be thinking, yeah, it's gorgeous, but I really miss that ruby red wall. Just think about what wall you want to paint ruby red in your new home when you find the right place to move into. Okay. So then the sixth thing is that really an offer, or did they intend to insult me, right? Because if you're asking for like $500,000 on your home, and let's say your home is worth $500,000, well, it's important to remember this. You as a seller want what? You want the most money for your home as possible that the market's willing to bear, right? I mean, let's just be honest here. That's what you're looking for. You're looking for the most money. In many, many, many cases, that's most sellers' position, that they want the most money their home is realistically able to sell for with the best terms available in the contract, right? Well, think of it from a buyer standpoint. Whenever you take your seller hat off and put your buyer hat on, because again, once you sell this house, you're going to be buying something more than likely, right? You're going to be buying your new place. And you put your buying thought process on, what do you want? You want the house for the least amount of money possible now, and with the most seller concessions and the most seller contributions, the best terms possible when you buy your home. Well, so here comes the reality now. Whenever you're selling a home, you might be getting some of those offers that just miss the mark for what you're looking for. Instead of getting insulted and frustrated by it, take a deep breath in, relax, and reassess your position. Reassess the comparable statistics in the area. Your trusted real estate advisor, first of all, if you got a trusted real estate advisor going back to point 2 that's going to shoot straight with you and be completely honest with you about cleaning, painting, removing different things on your property to stage it up, then it's highly likely that trusted real estate advisors already shared with you what the realistic sales price for your home is given the current market's condition. And if you listed at that price, then yes, it would definitely feel like it was an insult if you got an offer in for less, because your price was already right if you priced it correctly to begin with. Now, when you get those offers in, you have 3 options, right? You can either accept the offer, you can reject the offer, or you can counter the offer. As opposed to just going for a flat out rejection, why not just counter them back? Counter them back and see what's going on. Keep in mind that real estate negotiations, like anything else in life, are simply a conversation. When a buyer writes an offer, they're simply expressing their thoughts in writing of what they would like to get the home for. Doesn't mean that's what they're going to get the home for, but it means what they would like to get for the home. When you put your home on the market for sale, you put it at a price that you would like to get for it that was ideally realistic for your current marketplace and what's going on with your comparable sales, but nonetheless, what you would like to get for the property. So now that we have expressed our likes, let's express a negotiation in the form of figuring out where everybody truly stands on this position and find the right price that works for everybody involved so that you feel whole, the buyer feels good, and everybody moves forward smoothly and efficiently through the closing process. If your list price is the right price, okay. It's the right price. Counter them back at your list price, or counter them back and see what the terms are and counter a term or something. There's a lot of different wiggle room in a real estate contract. Talk to your trusted real estate advisor about perhaps a smart strategy going back to the buyer as opposed to a flat out rejection. It's just something to think about, something to consider as you start getting offers in on your property, okay? So then the 7th realization is, why, oh why, is this taking so long? You listed your house yesterday and you're wondering why it isn't sold today, right? Is there something wrong with my house? It's been on the market for 24 hours. My house is the best house in the world. Nobody has seen a better house. Okay, maybe that's a bit of an exaggeration and dramatization about the way that some people look at their home, right? At the same time, look, it's a nerve-wracking process. I get it. You got that nervous anxiety in the pit of your stomach having all these people come into your home. You don't know who they are. You don't know who the other agents are. It can be nervous. You're trying to do your best to keep your home in show-ready condition at all times, making your home look so good. You put in so much work to get it on the market, and you just want it sold already. Take a deep breath, count to 10, and be patient. Understand what your average days on market look like, and if you're within your average days on market, then you're doing good. Now, as a practice here in Las Vegas, Nevada, when I list property for families that are looking to sell, I always write into the contract, every 14 days we will be reviewing the market conditions and trends and reassessing any recent comparable sales to see if they're justifying the price or if they're actually dragging down the price, so we can make appropriate adjustments if necessary. So with the idea that every 21 days on market, if it lasts that long, then we will need to do a meaningful price reduction. Now, a meaningful price reduction isn't one of those kind that when you're out there shopping for your new home, or you're looking online right now to buy your new place as you get ready to put your home on the market, and you see that person that drops the price $100 or $500 or even $1,000. Like, really? You're going to do a price reduction and that's what you did? Really? Who are you trying to fool? Right? So make a meaningful price reduction. Something between 2.5% and 5% of the list price will definitely catch the market's attention when you do that. And when that happens, what do you think is going to happen? The buyers are going to salivate over your property. They're going to think, you know what? I really want that house. That is a steal of a deal for that beautiful home. And if you have more than one buyer thinking that in the market, what just happened? Believe that's called a bidding war. And when you get a bidding war, what happens? Normally the price goes up or down or stays the same. It goes up, right? And you also get better terms on your home. Something to think about, something to consider. But if you did everything right, to list your home and you prepared everything correctly, you knew what your average days on market were, you put a realistic price on your home that was an estimated fair market value range, then you're probably going to be sold inside of 3 weeks in many parts of the country, seller's market, buyer's market, what have you market. You're going to be selling quicker than anybody else if you've done everything right. So that brings us full circle to our 8th realization. Why am I having such a hard time letting go to my house and saying goodbye? Look, now this is a really interesting thing that happens. You know, especially if you lived in your home for a long time or you did a lot of improvements to it, you have a lot of happy memories there. Okay, it's completely understandable. I get a little bit flustered myself because whenever I bought my first home out here in Las Vegas, Nevada, I'm remembering back to what it was to sell that house whenever I sold it to buy my new house. And as much excitement as I had for the new house, letting go of the old house was very hard for me. I put in a lot of sweat equity into the home. You probably have done the same thing and can relate to that. Did a lot of improvements to it and just loved the house and adored it, right? It's very hard to let go. I actually had to, what I did, and probably nobody realized it, and I was a real estate agent at the time. I mean, with Berkshire Hathaway's policy, we can't list our own homes, so I still have the same opportunity that you do to pay full commission to a real estate agent, but that's beside the point. It's fun, so don't think that we get better deals or anything like that, right? So that's a side point. But I actually went in the day before closing, and the house was all vacant. I had cleaned all the home. I had it professionally cleaned for the new buyers. I wanted to make sure it was as beautiful and immaculate for them as possible. So all they had to do was drop the furniture in and live a very happy life moving forward with the house. I actually just went through and walked through the house, making my peace with the sale of the home, thanking the home for the happy memories and stuff like that, and said goodbye to it, and that I wished it well, and that I did everything that I could to help improve its condition and beautify the property, and I wished it well. I mean, I actually did that. And that might be something that if you have a strong emotional attachment or a sentiment to your home, you might want to consider doing, because it will help with closure in that process. So it's okay. It's just a normal part of the process. It's because change is different and change is new. And sometimes we get a little bit nervous when we don't always know what to expect from our new home. But once you get into your new home, here's what you're going to find. You're going to find the same kind of elation and excitement in your new home as you did with your old home. You'll always have happy memories of the old home, but with the new home, you'll build new ones. So this has been a video about 8 realizations that you're going to have when selling a home. Tell me what you took from this video and which point was most impactful to you in the comment section below. Was it number 1, how to decide to find which agent is the right one for you to list your home? Or was it actually dealing with maybe an offer that might feel insulting to you on the surface and learning to counter it as opposed to flat out reject it? Or was it the last point, the emotional attachment to the home and making peace and bringing to closure your time in that home when you get ready to sell? Tell me what you're thinking in the comment section below. Now I'm going to go ahead and pop up my contact information. If you want to drop me a line to say hello, or if you need help finding a top agent where you live, please let me know. I'm always loving to hear from you. Now, if you haven't already done so, I'm going to ask you to do 3 things. Number 1, please go ahead and subscribe to this channel now. Number 2, please like this video. Number 3, please share this video around with someone you know is going to be able to help. Thank you so much for watching today, team. In between now and next time, I'm wishing you and yours a lifetime full of love, wealth, abundance, and happiness. Make it a wonderful day.